I want to share a story today that's a little strange, but it's also surprisingly joyful as well. It actually happened in the middle of a medical crisis. The ride from Royal Jubilee Hospital to Vancouver was supposed to be uneventful. That's what I was told. The paramedics loaded me into the ambulance with practiced ease, calm voices, kind energy, a little light joking, the kind that instantly makes you feel like you're in good hands. And for the first time in days, I had relaxed. Once we hit the highway, though, it became clear this wasn't going to be quick. Traffic was a standstill, wall to wall cars, brake lights as far as we could see them. I remember sinking back into the stretcher and thinking, of course. So I asked, how long is this going to take? The paramedic sitting beside me smiled and said, about 4 hours at this rate. Then he glanced up towards the front of the ambulance. You think we should? He said. The driver paused for a second. Then he said, are you up for it? The paramedic turned back to me, his smile widening. How about you? Are you up for a little excitement? Now, after weeks of pain, worrying, and waiting for the doctor's tests and more unknowns, that more unknowns than answers, I didn't hesitate. I smiled and I said, hell yeah, let's do it. A second later, the sirens came on. It was really loud, sudden, and electric. And just like that, the ambulance veered onto the shoulder of the highway. I burst out laughing. We flew past rows and rows of cars, the sirens echoing, traffic parting as people scrambled out of the way. Drivers craned their necks, probably thinking something urgent, something serious was happening. And it was, just not in the way that they imagined. The paramedic stayed right beside me, keeping an eye on me, but clearly enjoying the moment too. You good back there? The driver said. Oh, I said, laughing, I'm more than good. And in that moment, for the first time in what felt like forever, I wasn't thinking about doctors or tests or diagnoses. My body wasn't braced for bad news. I was just there, having fun. I was present, laughing, and letting the absurdity of it just wash all over me. What could have been a long, exhausting, frightening ride turned into something else entirely. A small adventure, a pocket of light in the middle of chaos. When we finally arrived at Women's Hospital, my cheeks were hurting from smiling and laughing. As they helped me out of the ambulance, I looked at the paramedic who had stayed with me the whole way. Thank you, I said. I really needed that. He smiled and said, sometimes a little excitement is exactly what the doctor ordered. I stepped into the unknown once again, but this time with a little more courage. A story I'll never forget. Because even in the hardest seasons, even in medical crises, there are moments that remind you that you're still here. You're still human. You're still capable of joy, even when you least expect it.